a nation, yes. It's the engine of a healthy land. Good nutrition is the heart of a nation, yes. It's the engine of a healthy land. Good ya queen, nikungala queen. Good ya queen, nikusumba well. Naduombele chapa mo.
Welcome to Putting Nutrition First in Zambia with me, Josie Piri. This is a brand new series on nutrition brought to you with the courtesy of the National Food and Nutrition Commission and its partners. Up next is an exciting package that will give you lots of different information to help you and your family improve your nutrition status. We have a brand new local recipe, and our Did You Know segment will tickle your brain and drop some useful nuggets for you. Finally, on Movers and Shakers, we'll hear how one young mother in Kasama made a decision that she'll never regret. We'll be back right after this.
Nifuna mzukulu wanga uyu akakule na ntanzi akankale doctor akasamalire omwoyo w'abantu.
Nifuna mwana wanga akapunzire school akankale bwino ngambe nchitebo.
Kuna wana wanga wakule bwino.
Every parent wants their children to succeed and lead a better life. But something sinister is threatening this heartfelt desire for millions of children in Zambia, especially those under 2 years of age. This menace is malnutrition. Malnutrition, especially childhood stunting, has devastating effects on individuals, families, nations, as well as economies. It is a global problem that ought to be stopped. A recent report estimates that Zambia will lose 180 billion kwacha in the next decade if stunting is not addressed. Despite this grim news, there is hope. Many organizations, local and international, are working hard to improve nutrition for Zambian children and the entire population. At the helm is the National Food and Nutrition Commission, government's advocacy and advisory body on matters relating to food and nutrition. The National Food and Nutrition Commission and its partners have an excellent strategy to reduce malnutrition and stunting. It is the first 1,000 Most Critical Days program targeting children from conception to 2 years of age. It's a window of opportunity that everyone should take advantage of because during this period, everything that could go wrong nutritionally has a better chance of being corrected, giving our children the best start to life. The first 1,000 Most Critical Days program draws on team effort and specialized synergies. It has brought together several government ministries like health, education, water development, sanitation and environmental protection, agriculture, fisheries and livestock, and community development and social services. This unique approach will ensure that all aspects contributing to improved nutrition are fully addressed. Children need food in order to grow well. Not mere food, but nutritious food in the correct amounts and frequency to build them for the future.
Our main aim is to combat stunting in our community. We've observed that our children are not growing well. That's why we came up with this group so that we can try to teach our women in the communities, our families in the communities on how we can utilize the local available foods with their nutrition contents that can help them to grow well. From that, we even do outreaches. We go out into the communities to teach them, especially we target the under 5 clinic days. We go there and demonstrate to them on how they should prepare these locally available foods.
Reducing malnutrition in Zambia has many advantages. It will unburden our health system, save lives and money, and reinvest the time stolen through loss of man-hours due to illness. In short, investing in nutrition will improve our economy. The message is clear. We must spread the news and make sure that everyone is aware that giving our children the best start to life needs our total involvement. Parents, families, communities, schools, churches, the private sector, NGOs, cooperating partners, and everyone must play their special role to make our children's dreams a reality. I am pleased to speak to the man who is at the helm of probably one of Zambia's most important organizations, the National Food and Nutrition Commission. His name is Mr. Musonda Mofu, and he is the Acting Executive Director. Mr. Mofu, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Josie.
Right. Today we'll be talking about the nutrition landscape in the country. And as we talk, we want to find out what the picture is, what problems you're facing, and how you're responding to them as the National Food and Nutrition Commission. And my first question to you is this: 52 years, that's how long the National Food and Nutrition Commission has been in existence, and we're still fighting malnutrition. Does that imply that we are a hungry nation?
Thank you very much, Josie. As you know, the National Food and Nutrition Commission's mandate is to address all forms of malnutrition, and that's what government has given the commission. It has, of course, taken 52 years to start really seeing, some clear improvements in the nutrition situation of our country. But you will recall that previously the nutrition was regarded as a health sector issue. And we are aware now that in 1990, UNICEF proposed that actually the causes of malnutrition are not only in the health sector. They are in agriculture, they are as well as in the environment. And in 2007, we saw a breakthrough that showed that nutrition is a multi-sector issue. Malnutrition in our country is of public health concern and requires urgent efforts. If we look at the current landscape, we see that among the under 5 children, although there is an improvement over the past 20 years, we see that underweight is actually now at 12% from 15%. That is an improvement, but unfortunately not adequate, because that is still of public health importance. We look at stunting. About 35% of our children are actually stunted. This is the chronic type of malnutrition, implying therefore that the causes are actually have been perpetuated over a prolonged period of time. When you look at acute malnutrition, it is now at 4%. So when you look at all these statistics, malnutrition is of a public health importance, especially for stunting and underweight. Overall, in the population, 44% of the Zambian population are classified as hungry. And that is where now we are saying, if 44% of the Zambian population is classified as being hungry in terms of undernourishment, and this implies therefore that this 44% of the Zambian population is not having adequate intake of energy, then there is a problem in our country. So to answer to that question, yes, undernourishment is a big problem in our country, and as measured by energy, yes, it is a problem that requires urgent attention.
And normally when we talk about undernourishment, food comes into the picture. If there's so much food in Zambia, as we always talk about, then what is the problem? Why is there so much malnutrition? When we look at malnutrition, like indicated earlier on, the determinants of malnutrition is not only food alone.
There are several factors. At the same time, there is no single food that can provide all the nutrients that are necessary for a human being. And that is where the complexity of malnutrition comes in. Zambia has several foods when we look at it from season to season. Now, unfortunately, the consumption patterns of these foods in Zambia is quite poor. The National Food and Nutrition Commission has classified foods in 13 groups. So from these 13 groups, Zambians are only consuming from 5 groups. And that's where the problem comes in.
Why is that?
We need a diversified consumption if we are to improve the nutrition of our country. So the current dietary diversity score is around 5.5. Now,
if you could quickly explain, sorry
now
to cut you short, if you could quickly explain what the dietary diversity score is.
What it means is that from a range of 13 groups, these 13 groups, we have one group which constitutes of cereals, where maize is, another group which is constitutes of dark green vegetables, meat products, dairy products. So we have classified these foods in different categories. Now, the maximum score one can get is 13. That is, over a 7-day period, you need to consume from all these 13 groups. Now, at the moment, Zambians are only consuming from a minimum of 5.5 groups. And that is not adequate because there is no single food that contains all the nutrients. You need to consume from different foods if you are to be well nourished. Now, our analysis has shown that, firstly, when we look at a year, over a 12-month period, there are certain foods that are available and there are certain foods that are not available up to at particular points. And so, because of that, certain foods are not available. We have not put in place, mechanisms to ensure that these foods are available throughout the year. The other challenge that we have, we recently did an analysis, especially among farmers, where we found that within 3 months of production, the farmers that produce foods are food insecure. So it means something is very wrong.
Something is definitely very wrong here. If I could just quickly ask you this question, who is most affected by malnutrition in this country?
The malnutrition at the moment affects children under the age of 5 years, and women in the reproductive age group. And recently, we are also seeing that adolescents, that is children from 10 years to 19 years, are increasingly being affected by malnutrition. And with respect to children under the age of 5 years, we see that a greater vulnerability is between 0 and 24 months or 2 years. So these are the major groups that are affected by malnutrition in our country.
Thank you very much. Now, you as the National Food and Nutrition Commission are tasked to improving nutrition in this country. How do you rate your success so far?
Firstly, we realize that based on the evidence that we have, that the Commission can effectively perform if it coordinates the efforts of the different sectors. As I indicated, we are looking at, we are guided by scientific evidence, and evidence is showing us that there are about 7 critical sectors that needs to come to the table if we are to improve nutrition in our country. And so what we have done as a commission is that we have developed a sector strategic plan for nutrition. We have also developed a national program for scaling up nutrition in the country. And this is what we've brought to the table in order for the different sectors to come and fit in the nutrition sector. So in terms of success, we would rate ourselves by focusing on the coordination mechanism that we have put in place to ensure that different sectors come to the table for them to be able to undertake to provide nutrition services in the country. So that is point number one. Number two is to ensure that there is a robust monitoring and evaluation framework that can enable us to get information on where the Zambians are and be able to report who is receiving the services and who is not receiving the services, so that then we can intervene at an appropriate time. One of the critical things that you need to know is that one of the causes for malnutrition in the country is that we are not reaching every Zambian with nutrition services. So we need to open up our country so that where Zambians are, we are able to provide the services. And that is an important area if we are to address malnutrition in our country.
So then the question still remains, will malnutrition as we know it in Zambia ever be wiped out?
Yes. With the levels of efforts that we are, malnutrition is going down, but the annual rate of reduction is not adequate. We are reducing malnutrition only at 1%. But if we can scale up the provision of services to reach at least 90% of the population with services, we can accelerate this and be able to fight malnutrition. Our projection is that around 2030, 2040, we should be able to address malnutrition.
Well, that sounds like very good news. And that's all we have time for on this interview. Many thanks to you, Msonda Mofu, and we hope that sometime soon you can come back and give us more information.
Thank you, Josie.
It's now time to meet the movers and shakers in nutrition. This is where we meet different people and organizations who are, in their own way, doing something significant to improve nutrition right where they are. When Agnes Makasa heard about the community interventions under the Scaling Up Nutrition or SUN program in Kasama, she was hesitant and dismissive. But when she saw from her friends what they were receiving, this changed her mind, and she made a decision that changed the life of her family forever.
Inero na joine musani programu ero bashireleta sani programu iyi balishire nje bakwana nchindi pabukuru na tiawe ne shire yako na ikala abana ndi bafole nkoko na isati kanchikwadi no kufole nkoko kwa isa abo kufolesha efyumbu na isa batupera orange karo sweet potato ilya twayalima solo twalimine ulio mwana nishachiri munda tala achiri alepangika mu 2015 efyo nomba twambire twaswako tukalembula twalyako tufyumbu filafine fyo bayishire isafuti babweruka basani basambo kutsambisha efyumbu tekwipika fekweka nokudya ifyumbu ifi mufuire mwabure efyumbu mwapala babura nakagreda batulanga fya ku greda babura na fulawa batulanga mufuire mwapala mwapange fitumbu efitumbu anga mwapanga kuti mwashira abana bali ya ruchero mwakumabala aho kuyaisha ko kwena fyako ntoroka na tie ebusumo obu kufuma hapo futi baisabwera kuri fine fyumbu tumipele kuti mwaso kalembula mwaipika mwabika pesa bi bana kulya kwawe at least aho fyo nomba ifyo fyumbu na ishiredi mu 2015 2016 ino 2017 nkwata tulima kuri fine fyumbu no mibo mfashe ya fyumbu tule cheka kwense mwatu wakanika twapala kwa fya kupala twapanga kwa munko wabana twapanga kwa fitumbuwa aho fira tuwambele fintu ifinginge fyo buteko bure twafurisha fwe bana maopantu twali abashalira pali fyumbu busuma bwe nomo buri bantu kalefo cyareba kufi mwana fifi mwibala twaimba kuipikira fya bana obuchero babale angala but pali inonshita kuti na ashita fulawa anu kg nabura fine fyumbu na figireda nabapangire fitumbuwa fine fyumbu kuti na fipala na fyanika na fitwa na sesa nabakumbiro munkoyo fine fyumbu kuti naba fintu ifinga fo ningapangira kuti nabapangira ko keke fira batwala ko pantanshi tabale shalira abana fena ngumwa yaba mona madamu awe at least tumabona tie kona bana bamukashana abachanga mukana mata bafe kona na babika fe bwino madamu tawula mrafa ndamoneka changa mukanshiri watoto bala andina nsanza pantu ninsanga mwe fingi ifisuma Ni vasiri na mwana shonterere. Mirira ya basani.
And now, let's talk about the recipe for the day. Sweet potatoes are great food. They are packed with energy and, in the case of the orange-fleshed variety, full of vitamin A. But some of us have this about eating them because we need water constantly and we think that maybe we're going to choke on them. But don't worry at all, because our recipe for today gives you a new way of preparing sweet potatoes so that everyone in the family, including the babies, can enjoy them. And that was our recipe for the day, sweet potato custard. You should really try it. Well, that brings us to the end of our first edition of Putting Nutrition First in Zambia. Thank you all for sticking around, and I hope you can join me next week at the same time. On behalf of the entire production crew, my name is Josie Piri. Bye now.
Nutrition is the heart of a nation, yes. It's the